So I've released a couple of software as a service applications, from my voice to text application to the current SaaS template that I'm working on to the obvious platform. And although there's a lot of content on how to make 10K a month or how to quit your job and make XYZ, there's not a lot of content for programmers, at least, on the mistakes that people have made in business that severely held them back or even led to failure in that business. And I'm a person of the opinion that you learn more from your mistakes than from success. It's just a natural human tendency. When we lose something, we want to not do that anymore. And so what I'd like to do in this video is just share 5 lessons that I've learned as a result of releasing a couple of software as a service applications, so you don't have to go through the same mistakes that I did. So the first lesson that I've learned from, coding apps and building software for people is focusing on ideas too much. Hopefully you can see this. Before learning to code, I wanted to start a bunch of different businesses. I actually wanted to start like a chip company. I wanted to start a inventory management system. I want to start an AI company. Like, this was all before even learning to code. Oh, even like a finance business. And I spent a year going from idea to idea, trying to think of a perfect idea that would make me a billionaire. However, the one thing that led me to do, going from business to business, trying to think of this perfect idea, doing a ton of research and hoping that no one had that business idea, all that led me was to having no business and $0. And what this mistake led me to do as well is that I wasted 1 year of business in my own mind. Instead, the main lesson I want you to take out of this, because you're the main benefactor of this, not me, is that ideas don't matter as much as you think. We tend to think that the idea is the most important thing of a business, and I'm not trying to downplay that. However, an idea will only take you so far. It's only in your mind if you don't execute on that idea. And I know it's really cringe to say you have to execute before you have the idea or some weird shit like that, but it's completely true. Try to focus more on executing on an idea that you have or a business idea that you have, rather than hyper focusing on the perfect idea. For the most part, your business idea, my business ideas, what we're doing here, will have its flaws. People will have our idea. It's difficult, it's expensive, the market is uncertain, whatever it may be. But if you know how to execute and play your cards right, and you focus deeply on that, you are more likely than not see more growth doing that than constantly thinking of the perfect business idea. The guy, right, me, before doing YouTube and stuff like that, I would constantly be thinking, and I'd make no money. But now, because I'm just going into it, just doing stuff because I'm not hyper focusing on the idea, I will more likely than not make money, or at least make a decent amount of money compared to making no money. And I'd just rather make some money than no money. So again, like any business, you want to find a need and solve it. And I'm telling you, don't focus only on the idea. It's just a complete waste of time. Now, the next mistake and lesson that I've learned from starting some SaaS businesses is the mistake of building features instead of the core product. Bro, it's getting really messy here, so let me just fix this. Now, this is actually a lesson I learned a couple of weeks ago, but as I was finishing up some of the, features on my platform here, the learning platform, I started to branch off into unnecessary features that didn't relate to the product. So the main product, obviously, on this platform, and what I see it to be, is just it's just a place for developers to come and learn in-depth concepts or cool things that they want to build. That is better than YouTube, because there's going to be like code, there's going to be chapters, so it's a lot more organized, and it's a cool place to come. But what I started doing, right, is outside of just having videos and stuff like that, I started working on features like live videos, like posting, having like a community on this platform, and stuff that just didn't relate to what the core product intended it to be. And guess what? Like many of this, I spent maybe 2 weeks on unnecessary stuff, which were very valuable 2 weeks that I could have done on a video or learning something new or doing something more productive. And so for you watching this, okay, if you have a software business or you have an idea and you want to start executing on it, focus on the core features. Like me, okay, let's say you have a learning platform. Try to tick off things that generally won't matter to the user, or it could matter but does not matter right now, and just stick to a couple, okay? Like, I think it would be cool to have a live video feature where, we can talk, or people can like call each other like kind of on Discord and help each other with programming. I think that would be an amazing feature to have, but it's not necessary to make the platform what it is. On the other hand, the courses and the videos that we can play and having the roadmap here, these are necessary features that make the platform what it is, in my opinion. Stuff like also like authentication, right? You want to have authentication. That's a core feature that you want to have. And so for you watching this, okay, just ask yourself, does this matter? However, not to you, but to the user. And you know what this step really taught me is that you have to focus on the user, and that time really matters. Like, you can't just be wasting time on dumb stuff. You know, you have stuff to do. So stick to your product. Not only will it save you a big headache because you're not going to have to debug a lot of issues, but it will save you the mental and obviously like the time to do other things. Imagine what you could do with an extra 2 hours on a new business or another aspect of your business, or improving an important aspect of your business, rather than an unnecessary feature that in the grand scheme of things will not yield you the most results. Now, the third lesson that I've learned is that the tech stack doesn't matter. Now, this actually goes hand in hand with focusing on ideas so much and building features instead of a good core product, because we're wasting time. And I think that's most of the mistakes we do as entrepreneurs and as coders, is that we just waste time on shit that does not matter. And I think a lot of us will relate to this. Let's say we have a business idea or a project that we want to work on, okay? It's maybe our first or second project, so you know it's a very big deal. We get to research what tech stack we are using, and we fall into this loop of overthinking what database we should have, or what API usage or library we should use for data handling. And we just constantly fall into this loop of going from Supabase to Firebase to Prisma to Drizzle. Oh, should I do an ORM? Should I even have a backend? And if you look back at my tech startup series that we used to do, I spent like 5 weeks on going back and forth with databases and authentication and all these unnecessary things that just do not matter in like the large scale, okay? If the app works the same, do not care what the tech stack is. And for the most part, I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, everything will likely run the same, and you will not see a big difference with Svelte and Next.js in terms of the outcome of the code, like how it runs, unless it's like a very minuscule thing. And at that point, I don't think a lot of people are noticing. And look, if there is a big difference and you obviously want to switch to that, like if there's a new database that's like 10 times faster, you obviously want to switch to that. But for the most part, you will not see a big difference in capabilities between different things. And so to you watching this, okay, either stick to what you know or learn something new. Don't go into this weird trance of finding or looking for the best thing for this. Like it's just a waste of time, okay? And just one more example to set this home, okay? My editor, right, Ben, who's editing this video right now, he has to edit this video, right? He's an editor, and he uses software to make these videos nice and neat. As a consumer and as his customer, right? I couldn't care less if he used Final Cut Pro or whatever, DaVinci Resolve, whatever like the software is for video editing. I could care less what he uses, as long as the video comes out well edited and there's no issues with the video. And I think we should look at it through that lens. And I think trying to look at it through that lens has helped me significantly with at least saving time and focusing on things that matter. And I just noticed that with better developers, they look at tech stacks, and you know, they obviously care about what tech stack they're using because it does matter, but they don't hyper focus and nitpick on the smallest details of what Supabase versus Firebase will do. They just pick one, use it, get better at it, and make the application. And so the fourth lesson I have learned from my mistakes in business and software as a service is trying to be perfect. I think it was in this project that I learned this. Basically, I was dealing with some issue with the arrows here where I noticed that they were too far up compared to what I liked. Like you can see they're a little bit up. If you notice, you'll notice. And I was just totally obsessed with trying to fix this issue. And I spent a couple hours trying to fix this, looking for different ways to do it. And after kind of fixing it, because it was a little bit worse than this, I looked at myself with disgust. To me, right? I worked on something that didn't matter. And by fixing this and just caring too much about a mini padding on the screen, I wasted time on things that did not matter. And I tend to do deal with this today. You know, yesterday I was working on this SaaS template, and where is it? It was one of these buttons that wasn't like looking as good as I wanted it to, and I just wasted a whole day on a feature that users would just not care about. Like entrepreneurs, developers, business people, we have to try to be perfect. And so a good motto for us to do is to aim for perfection, but settle at a certain point. Maybe that's at very good, near perfect, but realize or try to realize that you cannot have everything perfect, or else you're never gonna go anywhere. If you're always trying to be perfect, it's a never-ending process of staying in a constant loop. Maybe it's on this page. Imagine I just stayed on this project because I want it to be perfect. It would just never work. Same with here, okay? This app has some bugs that I don't like, and I still released it because I need it to get out there. I need feedback. I want people to use the product, and it just needs to be out, okay? I don't want it to be in my hands the whole time for months and then have this big release. It's not it. So just aim for perfection, you know, aim to make an app as good as possible with little to no bugs and to have the perfect padding. But realize deep down that you will have some mistakes, and be open enough and humble enough to accept that as a human, you will have those mistakes and that you will solve them when you figure them out. And the final lesson I've learned is to not take things too seriously. Burnout in development and in entrepreneurship is normal for a reason. And I think it's because we take it too seriously. We get worried that we're gonna lose our entire livelihood. We're constantly overthinking about if we're ever gonna make it, how this thing turned out, how this problem is ever gonna be solved. And we are living in this constant hell where we are worried if something will happen or will not happen. And although that is a part of the entrepreneurial mind, like we're always gonna have that type of thinking where we are worried or we're trying to think of a problem to solve. That's a part of being a programmer and an entrepreneur. But try to have fun. And okay, look, you're not always gonna have fun. There's gonna be times where it's gonna suck. But if you're running into an issue, and you know, I learned this from a YouTuber called Hamza, be grateful for the problems. I know it's stupid to say that, but just realize at the end of the day that it genuinely does not matter. I want this video to do good. I'm a YouTuber. It'd be cool to have 1 million views on this video and get all the recognition that I want, right? I would love that, and I think it would be a very nice thing to have. But I'm not constantly worried if this will go viral, because if it did, the video will not turn out well because I'll make a video on going viral. Like, I'll make a video with the purpose of it going viral rather than the values within it. And right now, I'm just trying to have fun, let loose, not worry too much about views, but rather making a good video. And in a weird way, by trying to have fun and letting go of the issues and constantly worrying, you'll actually see better results. And also, by having fun, you're just gonna do more work because it's gonna be more fun. So it's a win-win. I'm telling you, just relax. This could be from ignoring the worries of the future or just going easy on yourself or taking a day off here and there. Those always work because, you know, I burnt out multiple times and it's not fun because you hate the process, and you need to love the process if you want to at least build stuff and build good stuff. But yeah, these are the 5 lessons that I've learned from both business and coding, and mix of those two. So I hope you feel the same way. And by the way, if you want to join the developer Discord group, I will leave that down below. We have everything from, you know, just an awesome group, fun friends. Like some of the people here are just some of my best friends in the world. So, you know, we have over 900 people as well. So if you want to join that, then I will leave that down below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.